Welcome. The topic for this video today is what I call basic eating rules. These are the basics that will benefit everybody. Without getting into specific individual health issues, if people adhere to these basic rules, most of the time their health improves dramatically. So let me start with the first one. The first one is probably the one that people struggle with the most, and it's eat real food. And the reason people struggle with it is today so many people don't know what real food is. They're so used to processed packaged foods that when it comes to real food, they don't have an idea of what real food is. So real food is basically unprocessed, it's unpreserved, it's unpackaged. You want real food, organic whenever possible, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, natural meats, as close to the earth as possible. And that goes without saying that when we talk about real food, we're talking about foods that are not laden with chemicals, are not laden with artificial colorings, flavorings, preservatives. So real food is as clean and as pure as we can get it. But number one is eat real food. Very simple, but not very many people are doing it. Number two, eat breakfast. It's important to eat breakfast. Eating breakfast gets the day off to the right start. Eating a good breakfast, balanced good breakfast, 25% of the day's calories would be a good general rule of thumb for breakfast. But breakfast is called that because you're breaking the fast from the night before. And a lot of times people will not eat breakfast because they're trying to watch their weight or whatever. And actually skipping breakfast has the opposite effect. Overweight people many times don't eat breakfast. So one of the things that I encourage them to do is get in the habit of starting a day off right, eating breakfast. It has an effect on your energy levels, it has an effect on your blood sugar levels, particularly around 2, 3 in the afternoon. That's when people will crash, and a lot of times it's due to either not eating breakfast or eating a high carbohydrate breakfast by itself. They've blown their blood sugar circuits. Number 3, eat a protein with each meal. I recommend a clean source of protein, whatever the best protein source is for you, but eat a protein with each meal. Some people do well with meats, some other people don't, so I'm not going to make that distinction now, but I am going to say eat a protein with each meal. Good sources of protein are natural meats, fish, wild fish, organic cottage cheese, organic eggs are excellent. Turkey sausage for breakfast is a good idea. You can get organic turkey sausage, is available. There's nuts and seeds. There's various sources of good protein. Protein supplements are out there. There's some good ones. I like the golden pea protein is an excellent vegetable source. You can get rice protein. Some people like whey protein powder. But there's various protein supplements. My only caution on protein supplements, many of the commercial protein supplements also have artificial sugars and colorings in them. Read the labels. Make sure you're getting a good pure source. Number 4, no refined carbohydrates. Only eat complex carbohydrates if you eat carbohydrates at all. Complex carbs are unprocessed carbohydrates. For example, a potato would be a complex carb. A potato chip would be a refined carb. If it's been processed into something else, it becomes refined. And there's different levels of refinement. But here's the rule of thumb. The more refined it becomes, the more effect it has on spiking your blood sugar. Not a good thing. So complex carbs, and only eat carbohydrates in combination with other foods. So no carbs alone. It has a big effect on your energy, but also on your weight and hormones. Next, no snacking. We want to get away from snacking in between meals. Ideally, you want to go at least 3.5, 4 hours in between meals. There's going to be some people that say, I can't do that. If I don't eat every 2 hours, I get the shakes, my blood sugar is so out of balance, and I understand that. But our goal should be to get a level of health to where we can extend that period of time between eating. Ideally, minimum 3.5 hours is what we want to strive for. Again, I understand that people sometimes can't do that in the beginning, but that's a goal to shoot for as we get the body into balance and get it well. Now the reason is if we eat sooner than 3.5 hours, what happens is it prevents the liver from secreting glucagon, which is secreted to regulate blood sugar. But when the liver does not secrete glucagon, it backs up, and it's one of the causes of fatty liver. We're clogging up our liver by eating too often. Also, eating too much is not a good thing as well, but eating too often doesn't give our liver a chance to basically unload, and it backs up. And a fatty liver is one of the problems with diabetes. Don't eat after dinner. We want ideally 3 hours minimum between dinner and bedtime. Many people not only are eating or snacking after dinner, they're snacking on high carbohydrate foods. So that's not good. Digestion is very energy intensive. So if we're digesting right before we go to bed, I think we've all had that experience of eating a big dinner right before bed. What does it do to the quality of your sleep? You know, it just absolutely wreaks havoc on it. So it interferes with the quality of sleep, it affects blood sugar balance, and it also affects hormone balance. So minimum of 3 hours before dinner and bedtime. When people apply these simple rules to their life, sometimes it's amazing what happens. Weight begins to normalize, blood sugar normalizes, sometimes even blood pressure will start to come down and even normalize in certain cases. So these rules are simple, they're basic, but they're profound, and they will benefit just about everybody who takes the time to apply them. Thanks for watching.